In this episode, I'm making car magic, making the slap of approval, and smacking myself in the head, so stay tuned.
Ouch!
Today we are going to change the oil filter housing gasket and the cooling system, radiator, thermostat, water pump. This is going to be part 1 of 2. In this part I'm going to disassemble and the next part I'm going to assemble it. So yeah, let's get started. Yeah, first we need to get the car up in the air so we have something to start with. Right now it's 6:43. Yeah, it's a little early of the day, but yeah, we'll need to get started anyway. You know, my daughter woke up at like 6 o'clock. I was like, God damn it, child, why now? Let me sleep. Again with the screwdriver. So the first thing we're going to remove is actually the entire air filter housing here, only to get a little bit more space in the engine bay, because right now there's not a lot of space. Important note, whenever repairing a car, wrenching, it's really important to keep your stuff in order and keep it all in place, or else you're going to have a really bad time when you're going to assemble it again. So what I always do is the first thing I remove, I lay that to the left, the clips here, and I'll put it on the left side of my table, just like when you're reading a book, so you go from left to right. When you're then ready to reassemble and everything, you go from right to left. And second note, I always have a screwdriver in my pocket. It's just you can use it for whatever. Air filter for the car, it doesn't really look that bad. It has been changed not that long ago. Not by me, but I can see it's a new filter, so yeah. Yeah, so what we have here, I'm just going to show you. I haven't actually seen this. This is making me kind of worried because I think we have to flush the entire coolant system. No coolant on it at all, which is not good. It means we have a leak in the cooling system, and I have a really good guess where it is. But another thing I can see with this car is the previous owner didn't have the right type of coolant for the car. He uses the red one, and this car is driving a bluish, greenish kind of coolant. But let me show you guys. As you can see here, I just tasted on it. A good thing if you're not sure what the kind of leak is, if you taste it and it tastes a bit of sweet, it's coolant. So yeah, good thing we're changing the entire thing. I think actually I'll start with draining the entire coolant system, and not that there can be much left, because I can almost see no coolant in it at all. Which is making me kind of worried. And if there isn't any leaks of coolant, then it can only go one way, and that's the engine that eats the coolant. And if it does that, it's either a broken engine or it's a head gasket for the engine. This kind of teammate here. Yeah, well, let's start with draining the system. Yeah, nice. As I told you before, it's a good thing to keep things separated so you can assemble it a lot easier, a lot quicker. A way I do that is I have on the one side of my lift of my working table, that's all the things I disassemble from the top, and on the other side it's all the things I disassemble from the bottom. Now if we'll take this plate down also, I think we can do it at least, yeah. I need a bucket for all the coolant, so I'm just going to find a big one. We have a little drain plug in one side of the coolant radiator. It's a Phillips head. Just unscrew it here. And if there is anything left, it will run out. Okay, so there is coolant on it. It's not like it's completely empty. It's the red coolant, so it's not the right coolant. So I think I have to flush the entire engine. That's because cooling system, the engine, it has, example, this engine here, an inline 6, it got 6 cylinders on row. And between the cylinders, there are small tunnels where water can run to cool down the engine, but also where oil can run to cool down the engine. And this kind of coolant it's not the right coolant for this type of car. It can get a bit of rust, it can clog a bit little things up. And when I'm changing the entire system to completely new parts, OE quality, I don't want any of this coolant to be left, but I'll show you guys. Yeah. Just going to tighten these two drain plugs again, only for most of the coolant is out of the system now, so I don't want my entire floor to be flushed in coolant. It's not really that nice to have. It's not really like it was a lot of coolant that was left in the system, but there was something which explains why it hasn't gone to the red in the odometer. So yeah, not a good sign, but not really that bad either. Zip tie, not OE, I can tell you that. But the plastic has broken down here, so yeah, maybe we also need to change the fan motor, fan blower. It's the only reason I didn't plan on changing it was because I didn't order it in the first time, which is also a bit lazy of me. So yeah, we'll need to order a new one anyway. Could really use a magnet on this slide. Oh, stand still, stand still. Quite easy to remove actually. Sometimes when you need to change the radiator, not on this BMW here, but on some cars, the aircon system, it also got a little radiator out in the front here, but sometimes they are connected to each other, so you have to empty the aircon system to get both things out, which is a really pain in the ass because you need a special tool to empty and fill up an air conditioner. So I'm really glad BMW's engineers can think so, because some engineers, I won't say from which country, but the old je parle français. And all those engineers from French, they are making their cars like... It's really annoying to work on them. Everything is made with no sense. Ouch! Okay, nice. So yeah, now I'm completely sure I need a new system. Really good job, Nicky. Really good job, mechanic. Nice. And now I should be ready to take the expansion tank. If I had taken the, I'm missing a hose down in the bottom, so the expansion tank is still on. But we have that off in just a minute. Okay, maybe we need the car up first, and then we'll take it like that. I should have taken this hose off before I got the expansion tank off, because right now the whole expansion tank is moving, and this is going to be a little pain in the ass. It's going to be a little pain in the ass. Yeah. It's not a little dent I got there from smacking myself in the head. But yeah, right now we should taking the expansion tank out and off. The thing is, I'm starting on removing the entire coolant system, and then I'm changing the oil filter housing gasket. And that's because when you have all of the coolant system out of the way, you got a bit more space to actually do what you need to do. I need to take the generator off. I'll also change all of the wheels and water pump and all that kind of stuff. I'm not afraid to admit, because even though you're an educated mechanic, every car is made different. And there's not one brand that has two same models. Even though it got the same engine, things are running a different kind of way. If we take the E39 especially, same engine you can get it with, but things sits in different places, and there's not two models that's the same. So I'm not afraid to admit, I'll have to go on YouTube and I'll have to watch a quick tutorial on how to change this. What I could see It shouldn't really be stuck in anything, it should be loose, just not my opinion. Yeah, that was what we were missing. Now I can take out the radiator. Be careful when you pull this thing up that it doesn't hurt the AC condenser, because it's just down here as well and you can hurt that one. Oh yeah, coolant, nice. Hose from over here, I need to take it up like this. Okay, so a good advice: remove the hoses from the radiator completely, which kind of sucks to find out right now. So now I have to do the only thing that's right, violence. And it's out. And just to make sure we didn't hurt anything else, I need to do a check. It looks good. That's good, really good. So what I'm doing right now, I have peeled off the reservoir here and the bolts for it, the screws for it, I just put them back loosely in the oil filter housing, because that's where they sit. This is about making it easy for yourself. I'm disassembling today and I'm going to reassemble it another day. And it's really important to know where all the things are going, else you're going to have a hard time later on. Yeah, nice. So now we're going to have to remove the generator to get into the oil filter housing. But I think first I'm going to remove up in the top here first. Cabin air filter doesn't really look that good. Clogged up actually. Oh yeah, new one of those also. So yeah, now we got a bit more space to work with, which is nice. Oops. As you guys can see here, we have the oil filter housing here, and we need to get the generator off first. To get the generator off, we need to take this belt off here. We got two belts on this one for the AC and one for the generator system. So we need both of them out. It's a T50, which is a big one. You need to take it clockwise to loosen it. Oh, it actually looks kind of okay. Not really that many cracks, but now we have it off, we can change it as well. But before I'm going to peel it off, I'm just going to make a drawing of how it's running. So I'm just marking up so I know what it is. Just like this. So the belt is off. And now let's hear the wheels. Oh! This is definitely not good. Before you pull off the generator, it's important to make sure there's no power. Over here, we got a little plus cable that runs down to the generator. Battery is in the back of this car. I'm just going to pull it off over here. That's a 19. Just wiggle it a little from side to side. Ah, that came. Yeah, nice. And that's in 17. And again, put the nut back on so we know where it are when we're going to assemble it again. You can see on the bottom here, we got a nut. So when you tighten this one, it will pull the nut towards and actually tight between the thing it's sitting on down here. When you need to reinstall it, we need to push this nut out again, so it's easier to reinstall. That's the belt tensioner. So yeah, now I think the oil filter housing is ready. And to get the oil filter housing off, I think I also need to get the servo pump off. Yeah, it sits in the oil filter housing. Easy. Before I'm going to take the oil filter housing off, I'm just going to loosen the oil filter cap so all the oil that's in the oil filter housing can run back to the engine. So now that we got most of the oil that has run back down, I'm just going to screw this one back in place. And yeah, the oil filter housing here sits with 6 bolts. And it's important to note where they sit, because they are not the same length all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them. It's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to take them in that order. Make the Vanners line. It's a bolt with a little hole in it, so the oil can run through the hole and into the Vanners line. And now, to get the oil filter housing out of the way, we just need to wiggle it a bit. That came. Yeps. With the Vanners oil line and everything. You can really see the gasket has been leaking from the bottom here. So yeah, we're going to address that. So right now, when we got it disassembled, it's a perfect time to actually also clean it. Put something into the holes here, so you don't get dirt and anything down to the engine, because this is straight down to the engine and you don't want dirt and anything to be in there. Now we need to clean where the gasket sits, so it's not leaking when we put on a new gasket. We'll do that with some Scotch-Brite, which really works well. I'm going to plug the holes with something, so I'm sure that nothing gets down to the engine. What I'm going to plug it with is actually just some towel. Be careful not to press it too hard, because if you press it too hard, it will, when you try to get it out, there will sit some stuff there and you need to get everything out of the way. So yeah, some Scotch-Brite, let's get it cleaned up. Nice and clean, so now we need to clean the oil filter housing. Got the oil filter housing here, and just to start we're going to pull out the old gasket. This is brittle, it's almost like it's just plastic. This is really not good. See the new gasket? It can fold just as you wish so this is really brittle and really old. I don't think it has ever been changed. That would also explain all the dirt that was down under it. Got the old one out here. Yeah, I'm thinking of stuffing the holes just like I did on the engine, and then clean the whole oil filter housing just to make it really nice. I think this is as good as it gets, so I'm going to take this outside and pressure wash it. Just gonna dry it out before we make a deeper cleaning with it, because we need to make it look a bit better than what it does right now. Let's take on the finger condoms. Yeah, it did get a lot better, and we didn't get too much water inside. We need to Scotch-Brite this thing. Be careful not to get dirt down in the hole. So now we're ready to reinstall the oil filter housing so we can get a not leaky BMW. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a subscribe to keep updated for part 2, where I'm going to assemble the whole thing. See you next time!